Hello, I'm Linda Nardelli. Welcome to the teachings of Mass India. Today's message is a second part of a previous message I did at the beginning of the year. And they mentioned then that they wanted to meet 6 months or so later to follow up and to help us navigate this time, which they refer to as the fifth dimensional age of chaos. In the first message, they talk about how reality is not as well, it used to be. It's a time of change and of freeing ourselves from the oppression, from the survival mechanism, the conditioning passed on through generations. It's a time to clear up and heal from those conditioned inheritances and responses that we have to life. Today's message, they continue on that with the real focus on choosing the new earth, being in alignment with who we truly are. So, welcome to the teachings, and I'm glad that you're here, and I'll just begin. I'll tune in to bring the spirits through. Good day, good day. We're very pleased to join you, and thank you for joining us as we work together to find the balance, to recenter, to recalibrate, reshape consciousness in alignment with the new earth, or in alignment with an earth that honors all people, all people. We understand that many of your old systems of patriarchy, of dominance, are breaking down. They have to. And of course, any system that's breaking down, any old framework, will work very hard to survive. The old pattern is so afraid of annihilation. It doesn't know that it transforms into something new. It would be like the caterpillar that never enters into a cocooning state. It would be like a woman that never well, there would be no pregnancy. Women and animals, mammals, there'd be no pregnancy, because that is a state of transformation from energy to matter. There would be no life if not for the path of evolution. But you look at mankind and you see one cycle being repeated over and over and over and over again, because the old pattern dies hard. So you can fight for eternity to try to change that pattern, to struggle against that pattern, to try to change other people, to try to change the system and what have you. You can fight that for eternity. And it will perpetuate itself, because you will be part of the problem. You will be part of the struggle. What you focus on is what exists. What you fight up against remains an opponent. You remain an opponent. You want peace. You need to bring the heart of forgiveness to everything. And above all, faith. You need to turn your back on the system. Turn your back on the dominance. Turn your back. We don't mean to ignore it. We don't mean to pretend it's not there. That would be very hard to do. We mean don't engage in the struggle. In other words, don't get triggered. Dofila is listening to this, your Linda, our Dofila here, is listening to this wondering, oh God, don't get triggered. Yeah, you're not in the body, is what she's thinking, and she's right. So she doesn't like that message. What do you mean, don't get triggered? She's all about, and we understand her teaching, being with the trigger. And we're all about that too. So for you to not be triggered isn't the same as fighting to control the trigger. Because now you're fighting again. To not be triggered is to take a step back and to observe your state of being triggered, your state of anxiety and overwhelm and resentment and anger and whatever that's showing up, or in fear. There's lots of fear in the world. Hey. Notice what it feels like to step back and there it is. There's fear in myself, in the other. Oh, wow. There's the pattern of control, trying to manage the fear going on in society. Where does that leave you? Many of you, we know this. We sense this in our Dofila. I can feel so helpless. Okay. You see the political systems, world politics. You see the invisible casting system, the hierarchies, minorities. And you see how much discordance there is. And you look at your history and you wonder, what's the point to it all? Where is this going? Why? And here we say, as we say so many times, love it all. Well, how can I turn my back on the system and be in love? The mind doesn't know how to grapple this because the mind is very linear. If I turn my back, I'm ignoring. If I turn my back, I'm in denial. What am I facing then if I turn my back on the conditioned beliefs, if I turn my back on the system as we know it as a society? What am I moving towards? What am I looking at? We're here to say, the new earth. The answer to your prayer. In other words, it's kind of like step up, look up. Turn towards what you long for. Despair, depression, falling in. The helplessness, what does that serve? Right? Struggling to be heard, fighting to be heard, what does that serve? You can change the system from the inside by looking forward, towards the light, towards a new earth, towards what you long for, not against its opposition. It feels so good, it's so freeing to not fight. That which doesn't incite you to divinity, that which doesn't incite you to create. And so we're here to talk about the next stage, the next 6 months, 8, 12 months, the next stage in this age of chaos, which is creation. And every aspect of creation has a point of gestation, the pregnancy, the chrysalis, the seed in the dark earth. And so there's a mystery. So we're here to ask you to cultivate an intimate relationship with the mystery, to find it in your power to welcome the unknown. We know you are afraid of the unknown. We know, not you specifically, but you as a collective are very, very afraid of the unknown, afraid of what's not familiar. So, of course, as a humanity, you repeat the familiar generation to generation to generation because you're afraid of the unfamiliar, the unknown, the unclear, that which you don't have answers for. We in this counseling practice with Dofila see so many people that want answers. They say, I'm feeling this, I don't know why. And they feel such a need to justify their feeling, justify their desire. And there was a time that that's what we witness here with our conduit, our channeler, such a need to justify herself. It's delightful to see that she's put that one down. What is there to justify? What is there to explain? What is there to prove? One is the totality of one's being in every and each moment. And of course, every and each moment changes and has a huge element of the unknown. What you're aware of, familiar with, what you can see and sense is a very, very, very small percentage to the whole. Right? And many of you on the spiritual path are seeking to know, well, what's the rest? But your cognitive faculties, your rational thinking mind, can't even begin to grasp that. It's impossible. Impossible. Because your cognitive mind operates out of a fraction of your whole vibration, a fraction of your DNA. There's a fuller vibratory field. So how do you develop an intimate relationship with that field? You watch, observe. You don't compete with it. It's like a relationship in a coupling. Are two spouses supposed to be the same? Do they have to think the same, want the same thing, understand each other? It's impossible. Your sibling, your parent, your child, your spouse, you have no way of really knowing the other fully. It's impossible. Because there's a vastness that's not seen even to them. That's the amazing. That's the beauty. That's the richness. Every single being is different. There is no two alike. Every single being is so different. There's no two alike. You can't know the other fully. You can only know your perception. But what if your perception can expand? And that is the age of chaos, an age of expansion. So you're feeling it. Now there's two ways that you can experience this age of expansion. Think of expansion a bit like growing pains. It's not easy. Expansion means there's some level of discomfort. You're stretching. So it's going to show up as discomfort, dis-ease, anxieties, emotional and physical struggling to some extent. It will. Some of you will get very sick. Don't worry. We're not warning you. That's not how we mean this. We mean you have a choice. Contract in that, like a tight fist, get paralyzed in that, or surrender. Be curious. Step up. Choose what you're focused on. Choose. Engage. Okay. And face forward, face towards what you truly long for. That's our guidance, and it's our prayer for you.